you had this awesome career, right, in stocks, and were you thinking about retiring and just putting your feet up, or where did the motivation come from to buy a team?
Good question. I've been, again, very fortunate to have had the financial ability to kind of reinvent myself over my life. So I was turning 50 years old, and I was with a friend, and I had already owned a small piece of the Boston Red Sox as a minority partner. I'm turning 50. I'm like, I'm not. You feel it a little bit when you turn that age. I feel it more when you turn 60, by the way. Um, you will all get there.
God
And I
willing.
was with a friend, Saugus Arena in Saugus, Massachusetts. It was the Jingle Ball, and my daughter was down on the floor with a friend of hers. My friend was with me. We were having some wine on the concourse level because we weren't on the floor. And my friend's name was Mark, so we'll call him Mark here in this story. And I said, "Hey, Mark, what am I going to do for fun the rest of my life? I don't like playing golf, and I haven't played a round of golf since I bought the Lightning. I don't like playing golf. There are only so many museums I want to go to with my wife. A little bit's okay, but don't want to be dragged to too many. What am I going to do for fun?" And I said, "I'm going to buy a hockey team." So literally, this was beginning of December 2008. The next day, I did what anybody would do under the circumstances. You Google how to buy a sports team, right? That's what we all would do. And it's like, one, be rich, know important people, and it goes down from there. I also bought a ton of textbooks on the business of sports to try to learn it that way. And I was on a mission from that day to buy hockey's my favorite sport. I love hockey. I was on a mission from that day to buy a hockey team.
So you buy like what, how to own a sports team for dummies, basically, and you
Basically,
start
yeah.
to just learn this process of how it works,
Y- Yes.
and then what? You search what's available, what's for sale.
Absolutely. I went through every team, and this was now we're getting into 2000, the downturn. So there were a lot of teams available at that time. Could have been 10 or 12 teams available. The other thing I did was, I'm from Boston. I know people in Boston. I knew all the sports teams owners. I spent 2 months just on the road meeting with sports teams owners and just asking them questions and listening,
Mm.
soaking it all in. And I think I've avoided some rookie mistakes when I owned the Lightning because of good guidance that I had. And then I went and it was about 4 or 5 months after the original concert. I went and had lunch with Gary Bettman, the commissioner. And, 8 months later, I owned the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Wow. So kind of pretty quick, right?
Yeah, when I am going to do something, I do it,
Amazing. So when you're
unless
talking,
I don't.
unless you don't, and then you're decisive in that way, right? Probably.
Yeah,
When
right.
you're talking with these different team owners and gathering this like intelligence, so to speak, about how this can all be done, was there something you heard over and over again? Like, did they say, "Hey, watch out for this. Most people run into this mistake when they own a team."
No, I don't. I would say that to owners now, and it's don't pick players. Let the professionals do that.
Right.
And all these new owners in any sport, they come in, they pick the players, and invariably the teams do badly.
Yep.
Don't pick the players. One of my premises, and I saw that with the Red Sox, good ownership, good management, like any business, makes a huge difference. And my premise at that time, especially, is probably 2/3 of professional sports teams did not have that. Either the owners were too involved, or they thought they were so successful in the regular business they thought they'd be successful
Mm.
being CEO of the sports team. So I thought there was, if you really run a good team and have the right culture and the right values and treat people with respect, you can do really well. And I thought you can have successful, not just team on the ice, but also, organizational wise and franchise wise.
And what did you think when you saw the Lightning for sale, right? Because you mentioned there's what, 12 available.
Yeah.
And so what's that process like, evaluating which one to purchase?
Yeah. You start with weather, right? I knew I'd move to, my wife didn't know it at the time, but I knew I'd move to the city, or we'd move to the city where the team was, because it's a lot more fun being not being an absentee
I would
owner.
imagine, yeah.
Go to practices, it's so much more fun. So, like, do you want to move to Buffalo or do you want to move to Tampa,
Well, you
Florida?
can't really get colder than Boston. I guess Buffalo might be colder, but that's
I
a
think Buffalo's colder.
yeah. So you did you want to move somewhere warm? Was that a consideration? Like a nice little retirement city?
Yeah.
Palm trees, beaches, the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm not a beach guy, but
Okay.
but I am a nice weather guy. I mean, even now, I've been here 15 years. When I step outside and it's sunny out or something, I go, It's a beautiful day. It's so nice here.
Like today, right? Today's the perfect Florida day.
It
Florida
is.
winter day.
If I didn't have to do this damn podcast, it'd be awesome.
Well, hey, I appreciate you being
I'm
here.
just joking.
I know
I'm
you're
happy.
missing the weather outside.
Hey, you're honoring me with number 100. I appreciate that.
There you go. So you find the Lightning, right? It's checking the boxes. Florida, good weather. It's available. Was there consideration about price? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, it matters. And if you remember, I don't know if you remember, but 15 years ago, the Lightning were in terrible shape here, and they were basically bankrupt. And honestly, a lot of people looked at the team. If I knew, let me see if I can say this correctly. If I knew then what I knew now, if I knew then what I know now, I never would have bought the team because it was a heavy lift to turn around. Probably had about a 10% chance. Honestly, if I didn't hire Todd Leiweke as my first CEO and Steve Yzerman as my first general manager on hockey, the team wouldn't be here. Just wouldn't have been here. So going back to your question, the price was low because the team was almost broke, and we were talking 2009 at the time,
Right.
which is in your terrible recession, and the previous owners were kind of hemorrhaging cash, and they just wanted out. So I was able to buy the team for, in retrospect, a really low amount of money, and it's been, it's in the neighborhood of $100 million, which is, even back then, was low for a team. Now the prices have gone through the roof.
But at the time, like you said, no one really wanted it. I remember in like the 2010-11 season, tickets were like $20, $15. I mean, you could get, they couldn't give them away.
Exactly. And how do you get season ticket members if they know they can just get them for free on game day? So you couldn't sell any season tickets. You have to develop credibility. I'm not getting the right word, but you have to have people understand there's value to season tickets. And even if it means the building's half empty, which it was in the beginning, not discount them like crazy, because otherwise you'll never sell a season ticket. And then we eventually filled up. But I want to mention one other point. I gave you a ballpark for the purchase price of the team. We were losing tens of millions of dollars back then, year after year. We put $75 million of my money into the building, and we had to buy out Vinny Lecavallier's contract, which is expensive. So even though I bought the team for a low price, what some people don't realize is I put pretty much triple that in cash to get it to break even to where it's become profitable the last 8 or 10 years.
Hey guys, if you want to watch the full episode of this clip, click right here. Make sure to subscribe by clicking right here. Thank you for watching.